Hey guys, it's Danny, and today I am super excited to introduce you to Ashely Johns. If you don't already know her, that is, of course. And if you don't already know her, let me tell you a little bit about her. So Ashely is an entrepreneur. She is a fierce life coach and the creator of Fierce Forward Armor, which are bracelets that arm women with intention worldwide, which, by the way, I'm wearing mine right now. Fierce Forward is both her brand and her personal motto that began 7 years ago when she hit rock bottom. So what Fierce Forward means is to move forward in your life, be your fiercest self, and to never give up. And over the years, Fierce Forward has helped Ashely and many other people around the world take risks, face their fears, and unleash their power. So Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm super excited to have you. I don't remember exactly how I found you, but I think it was bodybuilding.com years ago.
Okay.
And I was just so compelled by your transformation and your story because I am so, fascinated by transformation, physical and mental. I'm so fascinated by what it takes to, because I feel like so many people desire change so often in their lives. And what does it actually take? What's the difference between the person who is able to then go out and create some type of change and transformation and the people that feel like they're always spinning, and not able to quite get there. And I've been on both sides of it. So thank you so much for being here. So let's do this. Let's start with what your rock bottom was. So you said rock bottom. So let's chat about your rock bottom and what propelled you out of that into that initial transformation.
So rock bottom for me was at a time in my life where I was super stressed out. I did not like my job. I was disconnected from myself, my life. And I was super stressed out, having anxiety attacks every week. And the biggest thing is I just wasn't happy with what I was doing, how I was living, and how I felt about myself. So I would have Mexican carryout every night. I would turn my cell phone on silent and watch reruns of Sex and the City and literally just tune out and tune into these women's lives who just made me feel like, their life was so colorful and I wanted that. And mine just felt like gray. I wasn't connected.
That's a great description.
One night, it was New Year's Eve, I couldn't fit into any of my pants. And I realized, oh my gosh, it's like I didn't realize how backwards I was going until that one night. And I sat there with all of my pants on the apartment floor. And I just it was this moment I had where I came and I faced my reality of oh my gosh, there's no hiding this. This is what it is. And this is how far I've gone down the rabbit hole. So the next day, I turned on Sarah McLachlan and I was just I knew I needed to face this and let my feelings out. And I laid on my apartment floor and I just cried and I thought about, what I really put myself in this victim mindset. But at the same time, right after that, I decided to take responsibility that these were all my choices added up. And so I got up, I walked over to the bathroom mirror, I looked in the mirror and I thought, I don't even recognize the girl in the mirror anymore. And that right there, that bothered me so much that there was nothing else to do except choose in that moment if I was going to continue spiraling downwards, which there really was nowhere else to go. I mean, I was having thoughts of not wanting to be here. I was just that unhappy. And then I thought, or I could choose to move forward and actually live the life I really want to live. And I just got so connected to that idea of what I don't want. And then that catapulting me into knowing what I do want. And so in that moment, I just started moving forward and I cleared out my cupboards. I knew that I had to make a change with my body to start because that's where it started for me.
And so did you go seeking a transformation program or because you did do something with bodybuilding.com, right?
Yeah, I did. No, actually, my boyfriend helped me. He bought me a personal training package. So I got into the gym. I started working out. I hadn't worked out since high school when I did volleyball. So this was 5 years after high school, right out of college. And so I started working out with a trainer. I started running. I did a couple of 5Ks. I joined a running club. And then I got really into bodybuilding.com and I was looking every other Friday at the transformation of the weeks, which totally inspired me. Just like you, I love looking at those transformations because it's it's just inspirational to see what someone else can do and to know that you can do it too, what's possible. So I would look at those, and I set my first goal to be a transformation of the week on bodybuilding.com. I created a body space, and I just held myself accountable. I got into this whole new world with, fitness, nutrition, and I just started moving forward in my life, and it really started there. But so the bodybuilding.com opportunity, they reached out to me after I became a transformation of the week and saw that I was really present on my body space. And that's how that started.
Okay. So at the beginning, that was something you were enjoying.
Oh my gosh, I loved it.
Yes.
It was fun. It was like empowering, it made me happy because I was doing something for myself that really connected my mind, body, and spirit.
Yes, which makes so much sense. And I feel like that is such an important point, is for anybody who's looking to do some type of change or transformation in their life, that it's so important that whatever path or road we take, that you have to feel connected and enjoy the journey of it, right? Because sometimes I think people see transformations and then they're like, okay, well, I'm going to do that, or I'm going to eat like that, or I'm going to do that exercise, but they're not actually enjoying the program or the journey. And then they think there's something wrong with them rather than going, oh, this may not be the path for me.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's the thing. Yeah. When you're disconnected from your mind, body, or spirit, and all three, you have to be connected. They all work, together. But when you're disconnected, I mean, if you're not having fun, if you're not enjoying your forward movement, then that right there is
forward movement. Yep. Something. I love that. So, yeah. Okay. So guys, for me, just to give a little backstory. So like I said, I found Ashely in those days, somewhere along those days. And, so I was so fascinated by that initial transformation. But then I remember you talking about, like, you were dieting very strictly, or your food was very strict, and then your body kind of rebounded where you had gained weight back, mm-hmm. and you were still working out and eating well, but your body was going in a whole different direction. So I want to learn more about that, but I want to kind of get clear. The reason that's so fascinating to me is because I think so many women, if they were in those shoes, would kind of deem the whole thing a failure or make themselves wrong or broken, like they had to go back to the way they were doing it before. And what I was so attracted to in your approach was that it was a constant like self-love, compassion, and being your own detective. Like, what's going on with my body now? How do I need to show up for my body now? What do I need to do? And it wasn't like a decision made just based on a look or what the scale was saying. It was like a clear understanding of, I know I need to feel good on this journey, and I got to figure out what's next.
Right. Yeah. And actually what happened to me was I decided to enroll in a bodybuilding figure competition, or actually it was bikini and figure, but I did bikini. And I got some advice from someone in the fitness industry how to take my body to the next level. And I started, I took their advice and I cut out all carbohydrates. I couldn't find my car one day. I was driving and literally felt so loopy. I mean, I was so unhappy, just like my body was unhappy. And then my mind, I couldn't think clearly. And then I got so obsessed. Like, I saw my body was losing muscle and size, just in general, because the muscle was being eaten away. But I would go into the bathroom during, any time at work, and I would pull up my shirt and look at the side view of my stomach. It was like all of a sudden it became less about how I wanted to feel and live my life and more about how I looked and how I could get thinner. Mm-hmm. And happened was I became so disconnected to the mental, spiritual, even body part, because I wasn't being good to my body. And I got to a point where I started even throwing out my food. Me and my husband would have brownies every weekend, and he didn't know what was going on. That was something I was hiding. And, I just started really living a lie in a way. And I was extremely unhappy. So I got to that point. I know you said that, it could be when we fail, it's easy just to go down that rabbit hole and stay there. And for me, I was there, I was living in this unhappy, really hell. And I lost myself in this forward strive of trying to go for the wrong thing. I was trying to get there. I was trying to, and it wasn't about being, my fiercest self. It was about being my thinnest self.
Right.
So I walked away from bodybuilding.com because I wanted to find me again. And so there were times where, oh my gosh, this lasted for about 2 years. I hit a rebound and I just didn't understand. I was doing 2-a-days. I hired a more intense personal trainer. I got my personal training certification, and I felt like how can I be, I'm a hypocrite, you know, I'm telling people to do this the healthy way, yet I'm so unhealthy. And so, yeah, I knew that even when I felt like I had failed, I just knew that there was nowhere to go for me except forward. And I think that's my biggest piece of advice to anyone. If you feel like you've failed, or, you know, just knowing that at any moment you can move forward. And as long as you're doing your best, that's what's always propelled me forward out of the darkness.
Yes, and it's just the next step. You know, I always say, like, you know, you don't need to get all the way to the end to feel better, and better is better, right? Like, even if it's this much better, better is better. Better feels better, even if it's the tiniest bit better.
Yeah.
And so again, I think people I see happening all the time, especially with social media, right? When people are on health, wellness, weight loss journeys, we get attached to an idea or an ideal of a look, or the way it's supposed to be, or the way we think it's supposed to be, and we detach from how we feel about the whole thing, right? And so I think what is so powerful, right, is because, I mean, for you, walking away from bodybuilding.com, I would think at that time it was a huge sense of identity. Like, you did this huge transformation, you were doing work with them, and then to say, all right, I'm going to step back to kind of find my reconnection, even though in the midst of it, it's muddy and sticky, right? It's a big decision, but you knew from a feel base that was going to move you forward. And so, So go ahead. Sorry, were you going to say something?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, and forward for me started to change what that meant. You know, what does it mean to be fierce? What does it mean to live my best life? Does it mean to be my thinnest and to feel unhappy? No, absolutely not. It made me really take a good hard look and reassess at my connection point to my heart of what really is my forward movement in my life. Like, is it about this A, or is it about B? And I knew that it was knowing who I am and not being lost in industry, or, you know, trying to be thinner, or trying to be a different version of myself, or, you know, I knew that I had to redefine and reconnect to what my purpose in my life really is.
So when you started to make that switch, and you left bodybuilding.com and you were pushing hard, and what would you say what was the mental shift, or the mantra or the motto that was kind of like, okay, instead of me trying to get there, this is the idea, this is who I want to be, or this is what I want to be pulling me forward. You know what I mean? Like, I often think for myself, like, I'm very big on attaching to the feeling, what feels good, right? Mm-hmm. What was it for you that was pulling you into a different direction, like kind of out of that attachment to looking a certain way and saying, okay, this isn't feeling good, I'm going to start focusing on this?
Right. Well, I lost my power. You know, I was at bodybuilding.com conventions. I would stand next to girls in sports bras and tight pants and never feel good enough. And I felt lonely at the time. You know, I just felt like I felt weak. I felt like I couldn't eat a strawberry even. Someone offered me a strawberry and I said no. I still remember that moment where I was like, wow, this is a big deal. You know, I'm really going the distance here. And I think the biggest feeling I felt, my body was telling me it, my mind was, my spirit was that I had lost me. I had lost my power. And I tell people all the time, like, be fiercely you. You know, try not to compare yourself to other people. Like, follow your heart, be who you are, and you're here to be. And I wasn't being that, you know. So that for me, I wanted to find Ash again, because I lost her once before, and I found her. Like, I was really finding her. I was feeling empowered that first year. I was happy, excited, and then I lost her again because I was in the pursuit of something that wasn't right for me. It wasn't the right path. And so I just knew that I wanted to get on a different path, and I knew that I had to tell bodybuilding.com what was going on and just say, you know, right now I need to go in a different direction. Thank you for this opportunity. And it was very hard to do that because I knew I was walking, it just wasn't the right timing for me. I was going through a tough time. If I would have been in a different place with bodybuilding.com, that would have been amazing. But I really believe everything takes us to where we're supposed to be stronger. And I really wanted to find my power again.
Yeah, which is amazing, because I think too, it's a great point, like illustration of how any life well lived, right, is not a direct path, right? Like, things are good, they're feeling good, then we get a little off track, and then we have to realign. And it's that I've come to practice in my life, is knowing is that when things are feeling really good and then you start to get in the mud again, to not get mad about being in the mud again, because knowing that that is what's going to bring you to the next best place, right? Because
Yes.
that's literally what it looks like. So where in the midst of all of this did Fierce for the armor come in? Because so Ashely makes these amazing, all these, I'll let you describe it, but all these different bracelets with intentions on them, right? So right now mine is committed and abundance. But they're great for anybody. I mean, I love them because it's just the kind of thing I put on the ones that I want to be focusing on, or whatever, maybe a message that I'm needing. And it's just a little reminder throughout the day. You just look down and it's very empowering and it's grounding, you know? So tell me where this all came into play.
Well, the first year, that moment I was explaining to you guys where I had decided, you know, I can continue down the hole or I can move forward. There was a bracelet on the sink in the bathroom. And I decided, like, at that point when I committed to myself, it was just this moment of, you know, electricity, like, I'm going forward. That's it. I'm not even thinking about that right now. There was a bracelet and I picked it up. I'm a very visual person. So I picked it up, put it on, and I said, this is going to commemorate this moment. Because I think for a lot of people, we remember moments. You know, there's these moments and we can forget the day, but we can remember moments that impact us. Mm-hmm. And I remembered this. I wanted to remember this moment. So I thought of it as like my commitment to my purpose, which would be forward movement now. So I had started Fierce Forward as a mantra for myself when I wanted to shift from running to going to the weight room, which I knew was going to be empowering. There was something pulling me there. And I was scared to cross that line from the cardio room to the weight room. I got on the treadmill. I started running, getting a little runner's high. And I said, Ash, you have to take one step forward. It's literally a line. And I knew it was just one step that I needed to take, that I was afraid to take. Mm-hmm. And you have to be fierce. You have to put this fierce face on and own it. And like you already have been walking in that room. And it just clicked, Fierce Forward. So I started moving forward with that mantra. So this was that first year. I created a Facebook page and I just posted every day because I was really passionate about wanting to make a difference in people's lives, because my forward movement and this mantra was making a difference in mine. So I circled back to the armor because I thought, you know, so many people are commenting and connecting with me and me with them. And it just felt so good. And I wanted them. I was seeing their struggles. You know, how do I stay committed? How do I know my purpose? How do I know what I'm passionate about? And so I thought, you know, I'm going to create a collection of bracelets because this bracelet worked for me. And it's going to be the Limitless collection. It's going to be the 7 steps to any goal. And so I launched it and I had no idea. I mean, I didn't know what was going to happen. And it really, truly helps people. It's a tool. So yes. It's a tool that helps people now just move forward in their lives. It's like you said, it's a focus. It's a visual. It's something to look down at and remember what you're focusing on today, what you're moving forward for and to, really.
Yeah, so. Because so much of any type of change or transformation or anything really in that realm, it's really about where we put our attention and where we put our focus, right? And not allowing ourselves to look backwards and attach to the old story that was holding us back yesterday, but every single day to be able to wake up and say, what can I do today, right? And that's the forward motion, right? It's looking at the day and saying, what could I do to make today amazing? So when I go to bed tonight, and it's usually I know for me, it's usually very little things. It's like, get a workout in, eat a salad, have a glass of water, maybe see a friend, you know, like depending on the day and what's happening. But they're little things that can make a day really good. But it all comes with that focus of attention moving forward.
I absolutely
Fiercing forward.
Yeah.
Now, do you also do retreats and wellness programs?
Yep, I do women empowerment retreats. I've done that for 3 years now, and I do online journal projects. I believe in the power of journaling and staying connected to yourself. That's really like one of my big things.
Totally agree.
You can't move forward. You know, you're always going to be just kind of a zombie if you're not connected to what you want, who you are, where you want to go. So journaling is huge for me, and I use it as a tool as well. And so I do projects online as well. So.
That's awesome. And don't you offer free screen savers?
Oh, monthly vision boards, yes.
Monthly.
So every month in my community, I launch an intention or just really a focus. And so I do a monthly vision board, which is a graphic that they can It's free, and it's a PDF you can get, which you could set it as your screensaver, your desktop. You could print it out. A lot of people print it out and laminate it, put it in their office space. So yeah, I do offer that. It's really cool. I love doing them.
Yeah, and they're fantastic. I've downloaded some of those before, and guys, they're really fun because you're very like visually creative, so they're very inspiring and motivating. So it's very cool to like open up your desktop or your computer and have all of this like empowering, forward moving, words and images, etc. So if you're not one to put together your own, I highly recommend checking them out.
Yeah.
And also in the realm of fiercing forward or following your heart, you're in the process of a big change yourself, right? You and your husband recently moved from Indiana to Austin, Texas.
Yes, we did.
And if I'm not mistaken, your husband has left his 10 years of corporate work.
Yes.
To join. Go ahead.
Yeah, he was working a desk job for 10 years, one that didn't bring him satisfaction. In fact, his term is it sucked my soul.
Oh, I get that.
Yeah, I get it too. I did that. And now we decided, we went on this trip to Africa, and Mark took 2 weeks off, which he didn't get a lot of time off in the year. And we came back, and he's like, I think if we're going to do this, we should do this now. And usually I'm kind of the leader of forward movement. He's a little more of a structured person. He gets in his repetitious mode, and, that's a great thing he's taught me. But he took the lead on this, and I was like, well, if he's going to take the lead, let's do this. Because,
awesome.
So we've always wanted to move out of Indiana. It's just, we want somewhere that offers more food, more outdoor activities, just a different Mark's thing. No. So yeah, we just started moving forward with it, and we sold our house in 24 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's just like this magnet that's pulling us there, and
that's
everything
awesome.
has really worked out very smoothly.
Oh,
so,
I love that.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And that's awesome.
Thank you.
Perfect example of fiercing forward, because it's a huge change and a huge move, and it's like when you feel the feeling, you got to go with it.
Got to follow your heart.
So good. Okay, so before we wrap up, I'm going to ask you 5 fun questions.
Okay.
We're going to go, what's that? Rapid fire. Okay, which means you don't get to think too much. Okay, so what is your favorite fuel food?
Fuel,
so something nutritious.
Yes, I love blackened salmon with rice and zucchini and onions and peppers on the side with a little soy sauce.
Yum.
I never loved fish before, but then Mark made salmon, and he blackened it, and we literally have it like 4 times a week.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. Like most people are like peanut butter. I'm like, I want to eat with you. You're my kind of eater. That sounds amazing. Okay, what's your favorite fun food? So just food that is just delicious and fun to eat or drink.
Oh my gosh, I love Mexican. Chips, salsa, a frozen margarita with salt. I also love cupcakes.
Oh my gosh, you're so about to be in the right space, right? Good margaritas. Okay, best advice you would offer to somebody who wants to be fiercing forward in their own life? Yes,
I would say take a hard look at where you are. Take responsibility for where you are. And, I think a lot of people don't do that. Just kind of keep moving forward and think that, let life run you, but know that you have opportunity in any moment to move forward in your life and to take one step forward every day. And over time, those days and those steps forward will add up and create a lifestyle, and it will become more easy than you think it could ever be. And you just start fiercing forward with one step at a time.
Yes, I love that. Great advice. It is those little steps, the little steps. Okay, person that you would love to have dinner with, dead or alive?
Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, me too. Can I come?
Yeah, come.
I would love that.
It'll be fun.
I would love that. And okay, an advice that you would have given your 15-year-old self?
I would say love myself. I think going through life, it's easy. I've always kind of looked at outside things to bring me love. Mm-hmm. And I'm in this place in my life right now where I am following my heart more than I ever have. And I'm realizing how important it is to love yourself. And that's in the form of, different forms like, nurturing your body with the right food, moving every day, thinking good thoughts about yourself. And yeah, I would say know that my job is to love myself first.
Yes, so good. And I think that's probably like the universal practice that most of
Yeah.
us need to just remember and then embody on a day-to-day basis. So
Mm-hmm.
super fun, and I loved hearing all of the story and all of your tips. Thank you so much for being here. I am going to, down in the description box below, guys, I'm going to link to, Ashely's, all of her goods, her bracelets, the downloads for the screenshots, the website. So if you guys want to learn more or check out some of the Fierce Forward movement, you guys can do it down below, okay? So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you back here next time with some more food for thought.